So when I was reading the Bible publicly, I was doing like a little mini Bible study session. And last when I left off at, it was on Genesis chapters 19, 20, and 21. Today, starting back, I'm going to be reading Genesis chapters 22 and 23. And we're going to get right into it, okay? I'm doing this this mini Bible study session publicly because I do it non-publicly by myself at times. But I'm doing it publicly again, not only to get myself back into reading the word more, because even though I do it off camera as well, I haven't done it for like a week now. So I'm gonna get myself back into it publicly for those who are also having a hard time reading the Bible on their own. So, and I have a whole mini session of me reading it from Genesis chapter 1 to 21 on YouTube. Today, I am going to continue where I left off at publicly, and I'm going to be reading Genesis chapters 22 and 23 today. Until next time, I will get into Genesis chapter 24, 25, so on and so forth. So I'm just going to get right into it. I'm reading from the Holy Bible. I'm reading the Holy Bible from the authorized King James Version. That's where I'm reading from, okay? So I'm going to start now. Genesis chapters 22 and 23. And it states, we're starting at Genesis chapters 22. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah. I believe I'm saying that right. And offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. I'm getting hot. I have clothes on here. Okay, forgive me. Genesis chapter 22, verse 3. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass. It actually says that. Genesis chapter 22, verse 3 states, it says, and Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him. Focus. And Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father. Spake, meaning like spoke, I believe, in their term. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. Let me say that again. Genesis chapter 22, verse 7. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. Oh, here am I, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself. Oh, I'm reading it like too fast, I guess. But I feel like I'm reading it too slow also. But anyhow, Genesis chapter 22, verse 8 states, And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God. Wow. Seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Malchah, I believe is Malchah. Genesis chapter 22, verse 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Micah, I don't know. She hath also born children. Thy brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram. And she said, I believe that's what that's pronounced, and Shesed, I don't know, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. Though these 8 Malchah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah, I believe. She bare also Teba, and Gaham, and Tahash, and Mahiakah, I believe. And that was the end of Genesis chapter 22. So now I'm going to start Genesis chapters 23, and that will be the end of my mini Bible study class or session today. Okay, now let's start. Genesis chapters, why I keep saying that? Genesis chapter 23. And it reads, And Sarah was 107. Okay. And Sarah, Genesis chapter 23. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjath Arah. Oh gosh. And Sarah died in Genesis chapter 23, verse 2. And Sarah died in Kirjath Arba. In Kirjath Arba, I believe. The same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my Lord. Thou art a mighty prince among us, in the choice of our sepulchres. I believe sepulchres. I guess, I don't know. Burying thy dead, none of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, okay, which he hath, which is in the end of his field, for as much money as it is worth, he shall give it me for a possession of a burying place amongst you. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children. Forgive me, Father. Genesis chapter 23, verse 10. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in at the gate of his city, saying, Nay, my Lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein. I give it thee in the presence of the sons of my people. Give I it thee, bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. And he spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, My Lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. And the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, I believe, which was before Mamre, the field, and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, the same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. And that is the end of Genesis chapters 23. So when I get back on this phone, this camera, I will be reading Genesis chapters 24 and 25, God's willing. And for today, I enjoyed that word. I enjoyed those two scriptures, those two chapters, I should say. And it was pretty interesting, as always. As I read this Bible, I am slowly but surely, gradually learning day by day how the people back in Jesus and God's times lived, I'm also doing my best to learn what God wants of us as the people he created, what he wants of us to do as humans on the planet, in order to get to his kingdom, because I'm trying to get to his kingdom, nowhere else. And anybody that is also curious in following God and Jesus, or just curious in wanting to read more about God and Jesus, or just trying to get into the word, but is having a hard time just picking up the Bible, or don't have one, please join my mini Bible study sessions. I will do my best to read them to the point where you can understand me, because I'm also learning. I don't know much. And I am still, even on my off time when I'm not in front of the camera reading the Bible, on my off time, I'm still in the book of Genesis. I'm still reading Genesis, okay? I'm on like chapter 31 right now on my off time, okay? So I'm still slowly progressing and doing my best to get there, to keep reading, to keep knowing what God wants for us. Obviously, we all here for a reason, and there's no way we could figure it out without God. God is the only person, the only being that can help any of us on this planet get through to him. So that's all I'm doing. And if you want to tag along on this learning journey of reading the Bible, you're free to join me. But that's it for today. Thank you. I appreciate anybody who stayed this long towards the end of this video. You're very much appreciated. And more blessings onto you and your loved ones. Thank you so much. Peace. Bye. I'm outie.